Employee management and training. The following are general guidelines and are not intended to be legal advice. So, expectations and clarity. In your workforce, everyone needs to know the rules, and all the rules need to apply equally to everybody. Everything should be in writing. There should be no guesses or misunderstandings or verbal assurances or whatever. Many manufacturers have employee difficulties, from lack of employees to poor performing employees to poor attendance. Part of the reason for this is unclear or zero written expectations and unclear guidelines. This includes pay, job duties, attendance, work schedule, paid time off, and internal promotion policies. No employee should ever have to ask, how do I get a raise, a promotion? How do I learn new job duties? In other words, there should be no mysteries on anybody's part. The single most important way to address all of this is in an employee handbook and written job descriptions. So, an employee handbook. Here is an example of a typical employee handbook table of contents. As you can see from this, a good handbook is a lot of work, but it contains everything you should know about your business already. And if you don't have some of these things answered, it serves as a template for you to know what to work on and to work on those things and to make some determinations as to how you are going to treat your employees and what kind of business culture you intend to promote. All of that is discernible in a good employee handbook. Now that's fair to your current employees, your new hires, and to your prospective employees. Standards of conduct are key. These are the rules to follow on the job. They dictate personal behavior and expectations and boundaries in personal conduct. Some companies will place their GMP, personnel practices policy, in this section of the handbook. Others will keep them separate and hand out GMP guidelines separately. In either case, these should be discussed with each employee singly or in groups. It is not enough to hand it out to them and expect them to read and understand. They should be given appropriate time to read, and then an overview and Q&A opportunity should be given by a member of management. That's how important good manufacturing practices and personnel policies are. Communication. There will be two kinds of communication in your facility, formal and informal. You will tell people things and they will tell each other things. Sometimes they're the same and sometimes they are not. Informal communication can be much more destructive than formal communication if left unchecked and unchallenged. Your job is to always communicate information to your employees as to leave little room for rumors and speculation. Communicate the big things, such as business direction and policy changes and production schedule, but also communicate the little things. Good news is always welcome, no matter how small or seemingly trivial. Walk around a lot. Be available. Be as open and honest with your folks as possible. Your employee handbook is one method of formal communication. It is vitally important that what it states is in fact what you do. This is an unbreakable rule. Another method of formal communication is written job descriptions. Everyone should have a written job description. Here is an example of a written job description. Essential functions outline why you have the job in your facility in the first place. What is it for? What does it do? How does it add value to the operation? Qualifications are the background, skills, experience, and knowledge that the person should be able to bring to the job. They will need this background to be successful in the job, as they have to make decisions and create priorities throughout the day. Skills and aptitudes are the talents that the person has, the things that they are good at that relate to the job. The expectations of their character and personality are included in this category. Training. You must provide appropriate and timely and effective training to your employees, and it must be documented. What did you train them on? When? Who performed the training? You must have a role, and each attendee must sign off on that role next to their name, indicating that they were at the training. For all training, the rule is the same. If you didn't write it down, you didn't do it. Everything must be in writing. Everything must be documented. Employee training typically falls into three main areas: job tasks, human safety, and food safety. So let's take them in order. Job tasks. Every job should have a written list of tasks, and everyone performing those tasks should be shown how to do them. The list of tasks should be essentially contained in the job description, but the specific order in which to do them and the correct way to do them must be taught. Job tasks are best taught using the tell, show, do method. The next category is human safety. Everyone should be able to go home safely after their workday is over. Food manufacturing shouldn't have any risky tasks or risky situations. If you do, you're doing it wrong or poorly, and you need to get it changed ASAP. So be sure that the job tasks and job environment are safe, and that any shortcuts of any kind are not allowed. Remember, there is one best way to do every job you have, and best not only means efficient, but it also means safe. You may choose to teach first aid or fire control or other related skills as part of your training offerings. Just remember that these are reactive skills, and prevention is always best. The last category is food safety. Manufacturing food is unlike any other manufacturing endeavor. Your product and your company will have a far more intimate relationship with your customers than virtually any other product or company that they interact with. You have the responsibility to ensure that you don't create illness or injury in your customers, because you have the opportunity by virtue of the nature of your product. This must not happen, and you must ensure it does not by providing food safety training. This training is required for any employee that handles or packs food. This training should extend to any employee who might even have the possibility of handling or packing food. The training must be documented like all training. It must be periodic, and it must be performed by a competent individual. As in all other training, there should be a role, and each attendee should sign the role indicating their attendance. An additional requirement that global food safety initiative schemes have is that employees must take a short and simple quiz after food safety training, and they must successfully complete it. This ensures that great attention was paid during the training and proves that your employees actually learn the material, as opposed to merely being in the room. This is a strong feature, and I highly recommend it. Be sure to make accommodation for any employee that has reading or writing difficulties. The goal here is to prove they learn the material, not that they can successfully complete a quiz. So in summary, you will only be as good as your people. They will only be as good as you manage them. And your managing will only be as good as your training program. Employee handbooks are a lot of work, and they can seem like an overwhelming task. Start small and basic, and add sections as you learn and grow. Consult with your people while creating the handbook. Get their input and their assistance. There is no better way to get buy-in from people than to have them follow rules and standards that they help create.